Have you ever wondered how rap and hip-hop music evolved from its early stages to what we know today? Rap and hip-hop have come a long way since the days of Sugar Hill Gang and Grandmaster Flash. But have you ever wondered how it got there? Who were the people that made this possible? And why do we even call it hip-hop? This is an interesting question, and we're going to answer all of your questions in today's video. Before we begin though, make sure to subscribe to Ocean Matrix and hit the bell icon for notifications. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. The birth of hip-hop in the 1970s and 80s. Hip-hop's origins can be traced back to the Sugar Hill Gang's 1979 single Rapper's Delight. Wonder Mike's famous phrase, "Now what you hear is not a test, I'm rhyming to the music," tells a lot more about the beginnings of hip-hop than the song itself does. The first thing you have to know is that back in the day, before they actually called it hip-hop or rap music, they called it breakdancing or b-boying. And just like any other dance form, breakdancers had their own styles. Some were more theatrical than others, but all of them had one thing in common. They danced for fun and entertainment. Hip-hop developed from the interactions between African American youth from inner city areas and young immigrants and children of immigrants from countries such as the Caribbean, Latin America, and South Asia. The term hip-hop first referred to music in a song by Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force's 1982 single Planet Rock. Louis Armstrong performed the first renowned scat solo as a result of losing his trumpet melody sheet music before recording. However, artists such as Don Redman and Cliff Edwards had recorded scat singing in the past. Singers like Ella Fitzgerald and hip-hop artists like Kanye West adopt the technique of scat singing on album tracks to come up with rhythms. The Last Poets reinvented spoken word in the 60s, followed by DJ Kool Herc drawing the boundaries of hip-hop in 1973 using two turntables. Hip-hop music has become one of the most popular forms of American art, as kids with dyed hair can now produce a chart-topping hit as rapidly as a classical flutist. Beginning in New York City, hip-hop moved throughout the country and the world, resonating in places like Los Angeles, Atlanta, the Midwest, Europe, Asia, and the rest of the globe. As a tribute to the genre parents can't comprehend, Stacker combed through the historical records and a slew of music magazines. He extolled the virtues of gin and tonic. Hip-hop's most important events, albums, and songs are included in the following 50 slides that cover the genre's lengthy story. An expansive and dynamic genre, hip-hop was inspired by a plethora of creative minds. This history is by no means exhaustive. While tracing the history of hip-hop, we've made an attempt to include performers from a number of genres, such as rap, R&B, and reggaeton. Many people were inspired to fight the power by political songs of old. Was it the Georgia Rap Trio that prophesied in 1995 that Southern hip-hop will soon make an impact in the music business? In 1999, MC and singer R. Kelly became the first hip-hop artist to win the Album of the Year Grammy Award. Keep watching for this and more recent occurrences. History of hip-hop. 1. The Last Poets. The Last Poets were the first group to perform what we now call hip-hop in front of a live audience. In the late 1960s, they were known as black artists and had already been performing their poetry for years at colleges, churches, and community centers. By 1968, they started to gain momentum after being featured in an article by R.D. Price of the New York Times Magazine titled The Beat Generation. 2. The Merry-Go-Round. The Merry-Go-Round is a rap group from Queens, New York that started in the late 1970s. The Merry-Go-Round was composed of 4 members: Nonchalant, Roland, Breeze, and DJ Smurf. The Merry-Go-Round started out by making mixtapes and releasing them to their neighborhood friends. They later formed their own label called Merry-Go-Round Records. 3. Record scratching. Theodore claims he scratched the record for the first time in 1975 by mistake. It wasn't until 2 years later that scratching records became common in jam sessions in public parks, and it is still used in hip-hop productions to this day. 4. The Rocksteady Crew. Breakdancing pioneers, the Rocksteady Crew was created in 1977. Crazy Legs, one of hip-hop's most influential pioneers, has remained a steadfast advocate for the sharing of the genre's origins. 5. Rapper's Delight. The song Rapper's Delight by the group Sugar Hill Gang was released in 1979 and is credited as being the first rap song to become a hit. The lyrics of this early hip-hop classic are often considered formulaic, simplistic, and overly sexualized. However, one could argue that its importance cannot be overstated. It inspired a generation of artists and provided an outlet for young people to express themselves freely through music. 6. Hip-hop rapture. Rapper's Delight shattered urban radio. Although Blondie may claim to have had had the first mainstream hip-hop success. Blondie vocalist Debbie Harry raps in the song Rapture. Harry's enthusiasm for hip-hop was unmatched. 7. A powerful message. Hip-hop is a culture that has always expressed the need for equality and justice. From the days of Grandmaster Flash's The Message to Kendrick Lamar's Alright at this year's Grammy Awards. Its roots date back to the South Bronx of New York City in the 80s. The evolution of hip-hop music reflects how African Americans have adapted their voice to respond to social injustices over time. 8. Salt and Peppa. Salt and Peppa is best known for their hit song Push It from the album Very Necessary. The song was released in 1993 and reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The group also had a string of hits, including Shake Your Thing, What a Man, and Let's Talk About Sex. In 1987, they released their debut album Hot, Cool, and Vicious. The pair became popular with other female rap stars. 9. Kitty rap. Hip-hop has changed a lot since its inception in the 1970s. However, one thing that hasn't changed is the influence of children on hip-hop. In fact, some of the world's most popular rappers started rapping as kids. That's right, the best MCs started young. The first song, Jump by Criss Cross, provided a blueprint for other young rappers, including Lil Bow Wow, which was the first inception of the Kitties rap. 10. The rise of Darkman X. Darkman X is a man shrouded in mystery. Some say he's the great-grandson of a slave ship captain named Stede Bonnet. Others claim that he's a descendant of the ancient Egyptian royal family. One thing all sources agree on is that his music was so powerful it inspired the birth of an entire genre. Hip-hop. 11. Lauryn Hill's Grammy victory. For her first solo album, Lauryn Hill garnered 10 Grammy nominations for The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. After winning Album of the Year at the 41st Grammy Awards, Lauryn Hill became the first hip-hop artist to do so. 12. Okay. In the early 2000s, Lil Jon, the self-proclaimed king of crunk, became a huge figure in hip-hop thanks to his club anthems. Lil Jon collaborated with artists including Usher, Pitbull, and LMFAO as he became one of the most prominent producers in the music business. 13. The rise of the independents. While 50 Cent was signing multi-million-dollar deals, many hip-hop artists began exploring avenues away from major labels. BG and Slim Thug were among the stars who signed to Kah Records in the early 2000s, a label that reportedly paid them significantly more in royalties than other labels at the time. 14. Barack Obama and hip-hop hope. Famous hip-hop musicians like Common and Jay-Z supported Barack Obama, who reciprocated by pushing the genre when asked about his favorite music. There were a number of hip-hop musicians that organized fundraisers for Barack Obama's presidential campaign. 15. Drake's Dominion. Few rappers have dominated as much as Drake has over the last decade. Drake was already a household name before he released his first album, Thank Me Later, in 2010, thanks to his blockbuster mixtapes and internet buzz. Even though he's produced more songs than Madonna and the Beatles combined, Drake keeps branching out into new subgenres, which frequently became the next big thing in hip-hop. 16. Meet Me in the Trap. Rap music has a long history, dating back to the early 1900s, but trap music, which often alludes to drug selling, has just recently gained popularity as a distinct genre. T.I. and Young Jeezy were among the first to release trap music, which has now been joined by the likes of Future, 2 Chainz, and Lil Uzi Vert. 17. The powerhouse Lizzo. When it comes to self-made hip-hop stars, Lizzo is a shining example. She's an artist whose alternately funny and serious social media presence and understanding of how to manage online audiences have made her an international hit. Songwriter Lizzo's hits, Juice and Truth Hurts, become the soundtrack to the social media obsessed lives of fans. She also used her platform to criticize social media in early 2020. Which rap artist was your favorite and why? Tell us some of your favorite rap experiences or artists in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button to let us know. And don't forget to subscribe to Ocean Matrix and hit the bell icon so that you're notified whenever we post new content. Thanks for watching.